Hello guys, welcome back to the channel and welcome to our second Gerry Anderson review of a series. Tonight we're looking at a feature film. We're looking at a feature film of Space 1999, which was more of a live action sort of series program with sort of like puppetry, but within the sort of like space side of things, where that was all done by models, but all the actual persons in this is all real life. So we're going to be looking at this tonight. We're looking at a movie. Now, they only released 2 series of Space 1999, but then they released a few, when Space 1999 sort of like ended just before Star Wars came out. And so it was like bad timing, and they didn't get the funds to make any more series. But what they did, they made, I think it was 3 movies called Super Space Theatre. So what they did, they sort of took a couple of episodes, combined them together to make a movie, so they could release it like as a TV film or in theatres. And they did that with 3 storylines, and the one we're looking at tonight is called Alien Attack. So we're going to be checking that out. I'm not going to be doing a closer look at the item, the release, because I've already done an unboxing of this set, because this set contains all the series and it contains all the movies and loads of special features. It's 18 discs of Space 1999 wonder. So let's get not wasting any time. Let's have a look though at the disc to see if there's any special features on it. So this is the main menu, guys, for Alien Attack Space 1999. You have the original 4-screen with movie soundtrack, enhanced widescreen with episode soundtrack, original trailer, David Hirsch trailer, promotional gallery and subtitles. So that is the special features on this disc of Alien Attack. So there's like 2 ways of watching a film in it. The special features are on other discs in this set, because like I said, it's got 18 discs and loads of special features throughout the whole discs. But we're going to just not waste too much time. We'll get onto the story. So this story we're looking at tonight called Alien Attack, and it's based on 2 episodes of the series. It's based on one called War Games and one called I think it's called Breakaway, from series 1. And the storyline on this, now this is based on the moon. It's called Moon Base Alpha, and what it is, Earth have created a sort of like community that live in this space station, if you like, on the moon. And they're a workforce, because what the Earth is doing, it's storing its nuclear power, that nuclear energy it doesn't want anymore on this base on the moon. So it's a storage thing to get rid of some of the nuclear stuff on the planet. And we have the crew up there. The crew is led by Professor Victor Bergman, who's played by Barry Morse, who's really, really cool in this. And he's up there with the Doctor, Dr. Eleanor Russell, played by Barbara Bain. And they live on this place in control of it. But there's supposed to be, I think there's some sort of disease going on up there, because a lot of the residents up there, who's fantastic. You may remember him from the horror film Alone in the Dark. Really cool actor. I love Martin Landau. It's really cool. Anyway, he's been sent up to investigate what's going on. So he arrives, and Victor already knows him, and he's talking away to him, and back because they're like old friends. And he goes and gets introduced to Dr. Eleanor, and she's telling him all the sort of finds that she's finding by these dead bodies. And just before he arrives there, we've got a team of the astronauts out on the moon base expecting the radiation. And one of them goes a bit crazy and horrifying. And the doctor says this is how they're dying. So she doesn't know. It doesn't appear to be a disease, and it doesn't appear to be radiation. And as they investigate this deeper and deeper, they find out it's magnetic radiation that they're getting. Because what is happening, they're checking out Zone 2. There's 2 zones, Zone 1 and Zone 2. And Zone 2 is not showing any radiation, but they're passing through Zone 1 in the Eagle. The Eagle are their mode of transportation, like the spaceships, and they're very iconic in the Gerry Anderson world. They are fantastic. Would love to get one. There are models of them, but they're really expensive. So if you hear of one going quite cheap, let me know down below. Anyway, so they investigate it and all this sort of thing, and they don't know what's going on. And then, because they're tampering with it so much, it explodes. And we have a big nuclear explosion on the moon. It doesn't blow up the moon, but what it does, it sets the moon off. So it is now breaking away from orbit. So it is moving away from Earth. The explosion was that big to make it move away from Earth. So they are now going into orbit, lost, because they try their hardest to keep in communication with Earth, but they lose that communication over time. They are searching a planet now to live on, and there was one planet that they were trying to move on to called Meta, and as they move towards this planet, they get attacked by eagles that look like theirs, and so they sort of defend themselves, and they lose about 129 residents attacking this thing. So they're at war with this planet that they didn't know there was life forms on there, and it seems to be some sort of alien life form. So what's going to happen? You need to watch it and find out, because I ain't telling you no more. Final verdict. This is an essential watch. The actual movie is a 10 out of 10. It's fantastic. It's made up of 2 episodes. It is episodes 1 and 2. So if you want to watch them individually, watch the season. If you don't know too much about Space 1999, I would recommend watching Alien Attack first, because it gives you a great premise and a great setup to the characters. Yes, you can watch them in their episode form. The episodes of this program do last for about 50 minutes each. So the actual movie, Alien Attack, lasts for about 1 hour 44 minutes. So it's quite a lengthy movie, and quite a bit happens in it, and it's really cool. There's a lot of throwing yourself about and falling over as like they sort of like get shaken about. There's a lot of this going on, and we meet kind of like the aliens, the male aliens played by Anthony Valentine, who I've seen in things before. And it's just really, really cool. It's a great story premise. It would work so well in the cinema. I would love to have seen this in the cinema on a big screen. It looks tremendous. It's been remastered amazingly. So you have 2 ways of watching this film. You can watch it as the movie, or you can watch the first 2 episodes of the original series. I believe the series ran from like 1975 to 1977. It only ran for 2 seasons. Like I said, it ran out of funding. But like I said, because of the success of Star Wars, they tried to reboot it by making these movies. And they were quite successful. So they went on and did the same thing with some of the Thunderbirds. But this is really cool. I really recommend it. As a movie, it's a 10 out of 10. It's a great sci-fi film. Highly recommend it if you like it. The effects look cool. You can't see that the models so much. I mean, obviously in the Thunderbirds and Joe 90 and things, yeah, you can see that this models with model vehicles, but they look so like almost like Star Wars. George Lucas must have loved this show, because there's a lot of elements that he must have taken from this to put into Star Wars, because this is pre-Star Wars. This is before Star Wars, and it just looks phenomenal. Massive shout out to my lad. Cheers, guys.